This video is sponsored by NordVPN.
I'm convinced you don't need to spend more than about $350 on a smartphone. That's a bold statement, I know, but I actually have the evidence right in front of me. So let's cover all the bases. A high-end 120Hz AMOLED display, built of metal and glass with a good fingerprint scanner and an IP68 rating for the weatherproofing. 4 good quality cameras, all-day battery life with good wireless charging, and plenty of grunt if you want to play games or ask just more of your phone than doom scrolling. Oh, and fantastic software and another half a decade of promised updates, all for about $100 more than a pair of AirPods Pro. Sounds like a pretty good deal if you ask me. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas, and this is a Galaxy S24, a phone that you can buy certified refurbished or renewed for considerably less than a Pixel 9a. And I think in many ways, a phone like this is substantially better than that. It's faster, more powerful, has more versatile camera hardware, and maybe even the best bit is that it's just really small and light. Like legit, the S24 base model is as small, if not a little bit smaller, than that Zenfone 8 and 9 that people were banging on about. Don't let the 6.2-inch screen size convince you otherwise. Thanks to its smaller bezels and its more compact frame, this phone is as small as the Zenfone 9, even smaller in some dimensions.
One of the most convenient and handy inventions of the last few years is certainly a VPN, and that's where this video sponsor NordVPN comes in. Not only does this service help you browse anonymously, tunneling your network traffic through another region which helps secure your connection, but it's also just really handy for watching programs, movies and sports that you just wouldn't get in your home version of Netflix, for example. Or if like me, you're a diehard Premier League fanatic and you go on holiday, being able to log into your streaming services just as you normally would without a fuss is brilliant, and NordVPN allows you to do that. It works on Mac, Windows, iOS and our beloved Android. It's easy to install and get set up. If you go to nordvpn.com/androidpolice, you'll get up to 77% off a 2-year plan and 4 months extra for free. So check that link out in the video description, and a big thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring today's content.
My unit here isn't the highest end model, it's the base 128GB SKU, which is what you'll find for $350. And because mine's the European sample, it has the Exynos 2400 in it, whereas in the US you would be getting a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is quite a bit more powerful and gives you even more bang for your buck. Now, if you're glued to the spec sheets, to the benchmark charts, you might find that this 2-generation-old chipset isn't setting the world alight anymore. But you'd kind of expect that for a phone that is this cheap. It costs less than some wireless headphones. I mean, there's more than enough to, really get anything you want done on here. Unlike the Pixels of the same vintage, where there can be some performance hiccups, let's say. There's no cases of overheating. I haven't had a single issue in my almost 2 years with this phone. I've had it since new. And sure, it gets a little toasty when you're playing the higher end games. Again, this is the Exynos model. But for this price, I'm not expecting a pristine gaming experience. The phone is tiny. There is no room for a massive vapor chamber in there or a massive heatsink. The screen is fantastic, by the way, as you probably would expect from a Samsung Galaxy model, a high-end one at that. It's not massive, but its punch hole is tiny, and it really stretches to the edges of the screen, so you can maximize the footprint available. You get just more screen in a smaller phone. Whether you're watching or reading, it's not exactly perfect because it's not a huge screen, but as long as you're happy with a phone of this size, I think you can get quite a lot done. You could spend a little bit more and get the Plus variant if you want, because basically everything else is the same bar the battery and obviously the size of it. And that will give you a bit more battery life as well. But I do think the base model is going to be enough phone for many, many people. Speaking of, this is a used phone. It has a tiny battery in it, at least compared to the OnePlus 15, and it's going to have its pants pulled down if you try to compare it to one of those brand new. But manage your expectations, and this is easily an all-day phone for the right person, especially someone who primarily messages, Googles things on their device. The charging speeds, they're not breakneck either. This is the sort of phone you would top up on your nightstand overnight. It's not got that 100-watt plus charging in there, but I don't think it should be a turn-off just because on paper it's not as fast as those other phones. One of the key reasons why phones have become better at being old is that manufacturers are offering a lot longer software support, which not only helps the phone, be newer, feel more cutting edge, I guess, a couple of years after it came out, with stuff like up-to-date visual designs, perhaps a new set of features, but it also helps the phone just be more compatible with the apps that are important to you, like banking and so on, stuff that requires good security. A few years ago, you'd be lucky for a top shelf model like the best one Samsung made to offer even 3 years of security updates. And this had 7 from the off, which is really impressive. There's still 5 years left in the tank for this guy. At $350, that was unheard of a few years ago. One UI 8 is one of the very best Android skins in my opinion. It runs great on the S24. There's a lot of Galaxy AI features you might be interested in, and an otherwise very clean and fast Android skin if you're not interested in those AI features. One of the updates that has given this phone another great feature delivered log video to the S24 after the fact, which I think is pretty cool. So this $350 phone can shoot Ultra HD 4K 60p and 8K 30 in regular video modes, or even in log with video assist tools. A free update that makes an older phone more powerful? I'm always down for that. And otherwise, these sensors and lenses are a step down from the Ultra, but they are still pretty good and capable of capturing well-balanced, decent if not exceptional images. You get 1x, 0.6x and 3x dedicated hardware on the back here. So there's actually quite a lot of versatility as well as quality. Though due to the 3x's tiny sensor size, a lot of the time the phone will opt to crop in on that 1x sensor instead. Interestingly, this is the same camera hardware that you'll find in the later S25 and S25 Plus, so you're not even missing out on camera hardware by going for a generation older. There's arguably a bit too much sharpness and a bit too much contrast in some images, which was certainly a talking point when this phone was new and when it cost $1,000, but let's be real, that's kind of nitpicking when the phone costs $350 instead. I think given how much phone you're getting, it's actually pretty good. It's not one of those cheap feeling models either that have obvious cut corners like optical in-display fingerprint readers and a plastic outside shell or massive bezels. This once was an expensive phone and it looks and feels just as high-end now. Metal and glass, good quality fingerprint reader, haptics are really crisp as well, and the camera bumps on the back aren't massive, so it's quite easy to get in and out of your pocket without a case and without those things catching on your trousers. The Samsung Galaxy S24, though not perfect, at $350 is an astonishing deal. In fact, a lot of slightly older Galaxy phones tend to be really good money saving exercises right now. The S23 Ultra, the S24 Ultra are probably my go-to picks for enthusiasts, but of course you have to spend a little bit more than $350 to get one of those. There are older versions, plus versions, FE versions that will give you great Galaxy quality, but in a cut down package with a cut price to go with. And if something that could last you 3, 4, maybe 5 years can cost that much, well, that sounds like a great way to go for me. Guys, are you looking to save some money on your next smartphone purchase? If so, this might be your guy. And if you know of any other fantastic deals right now, do share with everyone because, well, let's all try and save a bit of cash on our next phone. There are some killer deals if you know where to look and you're happy to buy used or refurbished. And so, yeah, whilst you're down there in the comments giving everyone your recommendations, I would really appreciate it if you could hit like if you enjoyed today's content and subscribe to never miss another video. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Ryan Thomas and I'll catch you later. Cheers.